So I'd like to talk about an episode of Babylon 5, Season 1, Episode 2. All right. I think called Soul Hunter. So pretty much, it's business as usual. There's a ship that comes through the jump gate, and this ship is on a collision course with the station. So Commander Sinclair takes a Star Fury out and he moves the ship out of the way. I gotta tell you, man, I just love that feature on the Star Furies that they actually have a grappling hook and they can move objects out the way, tow ships out the way, and do stuff like that. I mean, that's actually a cool feature if you really think about it. Okay, and that's something I don't think I've seen on any in most science fiction shows. When you have fighters, you don't really see anything like that. I think that's cool. That was always a cool thing, okay? Because it made the Star Furies actually have way more usage than just fighting, okay? But anyways, so they get this alien off the ship, and he's in Med Lab, and he's an alien that they've never come in contact with before. And Delenn mentions to him, hey, you know what? Let me take a look. I've had a lot of experience with different aliens. I might know who this alien is. Or what he is, at least. Now, you know what's funny to me? I understand that there's going to be alien creatures that they haven't come in contact with before, but it seems kind of odd to me that no one would have mentioned this alien, or it wouldn't be in the computer database or something about that species. But I guess it's not impossible. It's not a big point. It's not impossible. But Delenn actually sees this guy, and she wants to kill him. Okay. And she actually tries to take a gun and shoot the guy, and they have to stop her. And she tells him he's a soul hunter, okay? He steals souls. He goes around, they go around, and they steal souls. Now, apparently, these soul hunters have a weird religion, okay? In their religion, they believe once you die, that's it, okay? Apparently, they can hear and see souls, and they can see when a person's about to die. And they want to preserve your soul. They don't generally try to preserve every soul. They just try to preserve the great people in a society, your geniuses, the great singers, maybe the great dancers, people that stand out, maybe certain lunatics. They probably would go out there and save somebody like Jack the Ripper. But anyways, Sinclair goes and talks to this guy. He doesn't believe him. He doesn't really believe him. The doctor doesn't believe him at all. Now, the issue is this, though. These soul hunters, they're known throughout the galaxy. A lot of the alien races don't like them. Okay? They're scared of them. Because essentially, whenever they show up, people are dying. In general, the soul hunters don't actually kill people. But they have the ability to sense when someone's going to die or a large amount of people are going to die. So they show up, and they're kind of like a symbol of death. And a lot of people don't like that, okay? So they want them off the station. Now, I felt one thing that Commander Sinclair told this guy, I felt was a little off of his character. Because essentially he told him, look, you make a bunch of the other aliens, nervous, and I want you off my station as soon as possible. Once your ship gets repaired, you got to go. Now, I had a little issue with that because, first of all, essentially this alien has not done anything. He's not broken any station regulations. Okay, at this point in the story, you actually find out that he is breaking laws and doing certain things, but at this point, they didn't know that, okay? Essentially, what he's telling this alien is, hey, you've got a religion. Nobody likes your religion, so you have to go. I felt that kind of was a little bit of racial bigotry, to be honest with you. Or whatever you'd call it in Babylon 5. Essentially, the other races just don't like these guys because they show up when people die and they allegedly are taking the souls or whatever. But that's sort of religious belief because the commander doesn't really believe in that. He thinks it's kind of crappy, and the doctor doesn't believe in it at all. And they kind of look at it as his religious beliefs. They don't really look at it as this guy can actually do that. They think it's nonsense. So essentially, you're basically saying get off this station because other people don't like your religion, which I felt was kind of out of character a little bit for Sinclair. Usually he speaks up for minorities and even racial minorities or whatever, religions or whatever. He speaks up for them and says, hey, You know, because at this point in time, this guy is not really doing anything. He's not breaking any regulations. He's not harassing anybody. It's just his mere presence there. So I don't know. I didn't really. I felt like that was out of character for Sinclair. But anyways, but him and the episode really is pushed by him and Delenn. Because the Minbari have this idea that when you die, your soul leaves your body and it joins like a collective of Minbari souls, like their souls. It joins some type of collective and you're reborn or something like that. Okay. And what these soul hunters do is collect these souls. When they collect these souls, they cannot join with other souls after life and it diminishes them. So you effectively have two different religious views here that conflict with each other. Now, later on, you find out that this particular soul hunter had went crazy. They actually tried to. He actually tried to save a bunch of souls in the past and was too late, or it was actually blocked. Okay, the Minbari hate these guys, so they will usually stop them from taking Minbari souls. Okay, so this guy goes a little insane. He decides, I'm not going to wait for people to die. I'm going to kill you myself and take your soul. Now he's breaking the law. Now he's a danger. Now he's a threat. And they have to find him and get rid of him. And they find out this because one of the other soul hunters comes to the stations and tells them all this, that the guy actually escaped from them. Okay. You know, he escapes. He goes there and he decides he wants to attack Ambassador Delenn because in the past they could not save the soul of the Minbari, I think, who died. They could not save his soul, okay, during the war. So he actually has some information on Delenn. He knows that Delenn is actually a member of the Grey Council, which is something that most people on the station at this point, most human beings or aliens do not know on this show at that point. You know, certain Minbari may know, but a lot of the other alien races don't know that she's actually a member of the government, a high-ranking government official there. Okay, they just think she's a regular ambassador. He knows this because she was one of the people who stopped him from taking the soul of their leader who died during the war. So he wants to take her soul. You know, he figures it'll balance things off if I take her soul, since she's actually very high up in the government. She's actually Satai Delenn. Now, so the guy escapes. And Commander Sinclair tracks him down. They have this big little fight and this nice little shootout and all that. And of course, he kidnaps Delenn. And Sinclair ends up saving Delenn and turning. The gentleman has a device that sucks the souls out of people. And he takes his sweet time with Delenn because apparently, in their belief, if you pull a soul out of somebody and they're depressed and sad or whatever, it damages the soul or whatever. So Sinclair actually finds his stash of souls that he's hidden. It seems that soul hunters don't go too far without, the stash of souls that they've taken, kind of like, I guess, a leprechaun, his pot of gold or something. Okay. So he takes this stash here and he opens these bags and these souls all fly out and they're sort of, I guess, confronting this soul hunter. I guess he can communicate with them. Now, the thing is, I don't actually know if the souls were angry just because he had taken them when they were about to die, or he had actually killed them. I felt that watching this episode that it was kind of implied that they were actually angry that he had actually killed them to take their souls. And now why this guy distracted, Sinclair turns his own machine on him and still takes his soul and puts it in one of these little soul balls. Now, one thing was interesting to me is I would have liked to actually see more about these characters. Okay. I think they did a movie, but you don't really see too much about the soul hunters in any of the other seasons of Babylon 5. They actually it was a very interesting concept. If you ask me, you've got a group of beings who actually can see when people are about to die and hear it and sense it. Okay, they actually have one scene there which they show this guy. He actually knows that a person is going to get killed on the station. and his effect on all the other races. Everybody's terrified of this dude, and he actually has a horror movie type vibe to this guy. I mean, I think they did something with his voice. They altered his voice with a machine or something because it sounds a little creepy. He actually has a horror movie villain type vibe going on with him, and unlike the rest of his members of his either race or group or whatever, he doesn't wait till people die. He goes out and kills you. I really think they could have brought this character back. He could have been like this Freddy Krueger type character, this horror movie type villain character. They should have brought him back for another episode or two, or dealt with these soul hunters a little bit more. Because I felt like they were interesting characters that, hey, I think one or two of the movies they talk about them, but I wish they did it more during the regular season. One thing, that I wish they had spoken on a little bit more, okay, when they take these souls, they said one of the other soul hunters said that, hey, we talked to them, we worship them. Do these souls actually like that? When these people are about to die and you take their soul, are they happy with that? Do they like that? Do they like being in this little, this little orb, or what, this little orb, a little round circle ball thing? I don't know if that's how the soul is supposed to look, or the soul is being, I believe the soul is being held within something, but they look like these little orbs. But the thing is, do the souls like that? Are they happy with that? Do they want to go ahead and just pass on to whatever stage is after you leave your body? Because the soul hunters themselves believe that there's nothing. Once you leave your body, you die, and them and Barry believe you join with other souls. You have other races on there with other religious beliefs, but they don't really tell you if the souls like that. With the one soul hunter who the other souls were irritated about, like I said, it was my impression they were angry because he was actually literally going out there and killing them to get their souls rather than waiting. But I don't know, generally, do these souls want to be want somebody to capture them and contain them and talk to them and worship them, or do they just want to pass on? I don't know. The episode doesn't really say that. Like I said, I think they made a mistake by not bringing this character back. Okay, all in all, I thought it was a pretty good episode, but probably it's not an episode I really watch all that often. I mean, honestly, it's probably not one of the best episodes. It's a solid episode. I mean, you have an interesting character that gets introduced to Soul Hunters. You find out that Sinclair actually finds out that Delenn is a member of the Grey Council, Satai Delenn. And, he gets told, and this original Soul Hunter tells him that, hey, they're using you. She's Satai Delenn. So he finds out some interesting information. And actually, for me, there was some interesting information when I first watched the episode, because I didn't watch the pilot, episode 0. I never watched all of that pilot. So for me, that was interesting. Okay. But I don't know. It's really not a lot to this episode. I think this is the first episode that Dr. Franklin actually comes aboard the station. That's not a lot to this episode. It's not really all that engrossing or exciting. I mean, you can kind of tell at the show that they're actually still trying to find their footing with some of the characters. I even look at certain characters like Delenn, okay? And in this first season, she comes off as being more aggressive and more violent, in my opinion, than she does later seasons. She actually tries to kill this soul hunter. Like I said, she grabs somebody's gun and tries to kill this dude. And later on in the season, she does a few things. To me, her character is a little bit different than Delenn going into maybe the third, fourth, and fifth season. She's more kind and gentle. But I think the actor actually mentioned something about that herself, that she felt that they made her character more kind and more gentle than she was originally. Okay. It's not a bad episode, man. I definitely, once in a blue moon, I actually do watch it again. I felt like they could have did more with the alien. He should have been more, the Soul Hunter should have been in more episodes, but it's not a bad episode. Definitely worth watching. Probably not the most remarkable episode, though. Okay. Yeah, give it a shot. I would say it's probably, in my opinion, one of the weaker episodes in season 1. Probably one of the weaker episodes in Babylon 5, period. But honestly, I can't really think of any episode of Babylon 5 that I can honestly say I felt ever was bad. If somebody knows a bad episode, please tell me. I think the worst episode is probably in season 5, and it just focuses on these two repair workers. But even that, I wouldn't say it's a bad episode. It's not that interesting. I don't watch it all that much. But man, just my thoughts. Pretty solid episode, worth a watch every once in a while.